Hey, how's it going everyone? Outlaw Client here, back once again this week, and I have to admit, I don't even know how to start this video. I mean, the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate hype is just out of control. Do I need to say any more? Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you later, peace out. So back in June, as I'm sure most of you are already aware, Nintendo held their E3 video presentation, and with this it featured a ton of new information about the upcoming Smash game, including new music, new stages, and of course the fact that all previous characters will be appearing in this game. So of course you guys, I can't wait for my boy Sandbag. Okay, sorry, Sandbag's not going to be in this one. Well, all previously playable characters will be updated and added into Smash Bros. Ultimate, which I am personally super hyped for. Anyways, in addition to this, Nintendo also announced their Super Smash blog, which is updated regularly on their website. And this is very similar to the previous Super Smash Bros. Dojo, which was held way back before Brawl was even released. I mean, there was just a ton of information on a weekly basis. They used to update it daily, apart from weekends, but just a ton of information. You know, it's not as if I was there up all night pressing the F5 refresh button. I mean, who would do that? Anyway, with the new Smash Bros. Blog updating on a daily basis, I just wanted to have a weekly analysis every Saturday or Sunday, just going over some of the small details that anyone might have missed, alongside in-depth character detailed analysis. So starting off on the 2nd of July, Sonic the Hedgehog had his short trailer released, which is identical to the one found on the main website. However, from this trailer there are a few things that we can gauge from Sonic, in addition to the original reveal trailer on the Smash Bros. Ultimate reveal that was played on during E3. So based off of his short trailer, you can see that Sonic's 3-hit jab has been slightly changed. Now, it's nothing too radically different, but you can just see that his animation, especially the 3rd hit when he kicks, has a slightly different animation, and his right fist is clenched while his left hand is a bit straighter than before. Again, nothing too crazy, but it's just a nice little animation change which makes the character feel a bit fresher than before. Now, in addition to his jab, there's also his homing attack which has been edited. So as you can see Sonic attack Bowser, the longer you hold down the B button, the further you'll ascend into the air, and also the more accurate his homing attack will be. Now, again, the homing attack wasn't a terrible option in the last Smash game. It was quite useful against opponents. It was a bit tricky as well, but now if you hold it down for longer, then you can pretty much lock onto the opponent a bit better. And in addition to that, you can sort of mix things up a bit by sometimes not holding it down as long, you know, for a nice quick spin dash, but trading a bit of accuracy, or you can just hold it down for longer and have a nice accurate homing attack. Now, unfortunately, we can see quite a few things on Sonic. He's received a few nerfs, unfortunately. So looking at his gameplay, you can notice that Sonic's spin dash can no longer be cancelled with the shield. So back in Smash 4 or Smash Wii U / 3DS, you could, if you wanted to do the spin charge, you know, the side B, you could do the spin charge, start holding it down, and then press the shield button shortly after. And of course that would cancel your charge, and you could freely move out with very little recovery animations. Very strong for mixing up the opponent. It allows you to pretty much stop shield and then just grab the opponent. So yeah, some pretty nasty mix-ups there. And also the Sonic's throw knockback also has a lot less with his up throw and forward throw. Now, it still does a good chunk of damage. However, you won't be getting your opponent into the kill percentage until a much higher percentage this time around. So if you want to be using your up and forward throw, you're going to have to take into account the opponent's percentage and just, you know, be a bit more patient and wear them down some more before you will be able to get the kill. But again, I guess a back throw is still a decent option for a kill throw, and that was always Sonic's most powerful kill throw, so that's something to keep in mind. Now, on the plus side, Sonic also, or it's rumoured that his net normals are a lot better in general, but one that I can confirm is the fact that Sonic's down tilt has a lot more combo potential, just because it now sends the opponents at a more upwards angle. So before it would send it at around a much steeper angle, but for now it's around 40 degrees, slightly less. So that will pop the opponent up into the air, and of course you can follow up with some other combos such as forward air or up air, just depending on their percentage. In addition to this, Sonic's aerials, I believe his forward, up and possibly back aerial has a lot less landing lag, so of course you can throw these ones out a lot more safely without the fear of being punished. Again, just amongst some of the buffs that Sonic's has received. In addition to this, Sonic's Final Smash also has a lot less control, so you can't move it around free like back in Wii U and 3DS, and even Smash Bros. Brawl, but this time you can only control his vertical range, so of course Sonic will zoom from left to right at lightning fast speeds, and you can only really control the up, down, vertical movement. Again, I don't really use the smash balls and stuff like that too much, but I guess, if you're caught in a for fun match and you just want to use them items, it's always something worth keeping in mind. Now finally, at the end of Sonic's post, or during the video gameplay, we see a quick glimpse of Knuckles, and Knuckles is an assist trophy this time around. Sorry, I had to pause there because I knew that some of you guys might be shocked. You might have to take a breather after hearing that, but I'm sorry guys, Knuckles is not playable this time around, and he's in fact an assist trophy. I guess it's better than the whole me skinned Knuckles costume. Anyway, which this nicely takes me on to the next post, and coming in also on the 2nd of July, Knuckles was revealed as an assist trophy in his very own blog post. And this video shows that Knuckles, or the images I should say, shows that Knuckles will burrow underground in addition to attacking with an uppercut. Now, alongside those two moves, Knuckles will also use homing attacks, and I know a lot of Sonic fans might be like, Knuckles homing attack? That doesn't make sense, he just glides all the time. However, I guess the closest thing to this might be his like automatic homing attack when you're controlling another character. Like if you control Sonic and the AI will control Knuckles, the power character, and he'll initiate the homing attack. Again, you can't actually do it yourself, so it's more of an automatic thing, but guys, I'm grasping here for some references. This is the closest I can find, so I think we're gonna have to go with that so far. Now moving on to the next day, on the 3rd of July, we next see Falco making his return Star Fox Zero style. Now, unfortunately Falco wasn't one of the playable characters in the E3 demo, however, we can still gauge a bit about Falco and a few of his changes in his short trailer. Again, this is combined with both the Smash Bros. Reveal trailer, noting some of the changes, and his small trailer that was posted on this blog on the 3rd of July. So, we can first tell that his reflector looks like it has some reduced lag, and this is more specifically during his recovery animation. So once he catches that reflector, you can see that he recovers a lot quicker, and just overall looks like it has less lag than back in Smash Wii U Smash 4. Oh, sorry, Wii U / 3DS. Again, it doesn't look too crazy, but it does look like it's reduced, so that's something to note, something very helpful. Another thing is that his multi-jab, infinite jab animation finishes off with a kick this time. So it's sort of like a kick, a side kick, a drop kick. Okay, not quite a drop kick, but what I'm trying to say is that he finishes off with a kick. Now, again, we don't know too much about how it's altered the damage because he wasn't playable in the demo, but it is a nice little change, from the classic feather thrust, I guess. That's all I can go with at the moment. But yeah, it's a nice visual change because Falco's had that infinite jab since back in the day of Smash Bros. Brawl. Didn't have a finisher in Brawl, had the finisher in the Wii U / 3DS with the feather thrust, and now it's back to, or changed to a kick attack. And finally, we can also see that Falco's family still isn't safe from the cruel world of Smash. I mean, come on, Sakurai, please, just stop doing it to this guy's family. I mean, why? Sakurai, you need to stop this, I don't know how this guy sleeps at night doing this stuff to his family. Either way, that's all we have for Falco, unfortunately. One of my favourite characters, but again, he's quite a few things as well that I want to see changed about him. Oh, and also in the trailer, it looks like his blaster is a little bit quicker as well, so another huge thing which made him a great character back in Brawl and Melee, but slowed down in Wii U and 3DS, which made him not as viable as a competitive character. Now next up, also on the same day, hailing from Kirby Air Ride comes a City Trial remix. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with Kirby Air Ride, that that hidden gem on the GameCube, that Kirby Air Ride goodness, which I suggest you guys get familiar with. I mean, it wasn't going to win any major awards, but I think it's up there with Mario Kart Double Dash, a real simple game. only a single button used to play it, but I mean, as I said, it's that Kirby Air Ride goodness, up there with the Mario Kart Double Dash greatness. Now, in my previous video where I talked about some Smash Bros changes, I did feature this City Trial remix, which I'm hoping makes an appearance some form in like a Smash Run type mode. I mean, if anything, I just hope this is a sign that Smash Run is coming into this version, because I love that on the 3DS version, but that game mode on the Wii U version, which we do not talk about, we do not even name, it never happened. But as I was saying, I really hope that's the single player mode in this game, and really do like this music track. As I said, it's a testament, the fact that I featured it in my video is like a testament as to how much I enjoy that soundtrack. And of course, we also need a Kirby Air Ride too, so you know, you guys, how laboratory, hop to it please. Now moving on to the next day, we see the return of Congo Falls in all its glory. Now this stage made its debut back in Smash Bros. Melee, and it has a few features. You know, it wasn't one of my favourite stages, but it had quite a few interesting features, such as that barrel at the bottom of the stage, which caused many friends to rage and throw their controllers into the screen. Again, it's not a crazy stage hazard, but if you get stuck in there, the barrel will spin, and if you press the A button or B button or whatever button, I can't exactly remember at the moment, but pressing the button will launch you in the direction that the barrel is facing, and of course facing downwards will shoot you to your doom. So yeah, probably not tournament legal, but who knows, going with these stage hazards features, the new feature to turn stage hazards off, you know, anything's possible. But either way, like I said, not a huge favourite of mine. It looks great in HD, I have to admit, huge improvement from the GameCube days, but again, any stage that allows me to blast the DK rap in full volume always has love and appreciation from me, so I can't wait for this stage. Let's just hope they don't do that, any of that Smash Wii U cutting soundtracks business. I mean, all the Kongs, they need their equal respect. Now moving on to the 5th of July, I have to admit this is probably my favourite blog post so far, or at least the most hype for me, and that is of course the return of Young Link. Now, I know some of you guys might be thinking, we really want Ice Climbers the most, or maybe you wanted Snake the most. And of course I did as well. I mean, seriously, that is Snake. You can't deny Snake is awesome. But in addition to Snake and Ice Climbers, Young Link was by far one of my most wanted of the cut characters. And honestly, like I said, Young Link, I just used him so much in Smash Melee. Easily my favorite character back in that game. Now, in addition to Young Link, he also returns with his home stage, which is the Great Bay. And again, I know it's the Great Bay, you know, that Majora's Mask representation, but I would have loved to see Young Link as well have a more Majora's Mask type of representation, such as his Mirror Shield and Gilded Sword, or even Razor Sword, alongside maybe a yellow hookshot and so on. But either way, well, most importantly, I would have loved to see some mask transformations. Who knows, maybe that's too much to ask for. Hopefully we can get like a Fierce Deity mask, Final Smash or something. Either way, enough with the character himself. Maybe I'm asking for too much, who knows. But moving on to Young Link himself. Now, unfortunately, this was a character that wasn't featured in any of the E3 demo gameplay, or he wasn't available to try in any form of the demo. But from the trailer, we can tell a few minor changes that have been made. Now, the fact that his bombs no longer do any splash damage means that he'll have a greater combo potential without the fear of being delayed or the fear of being interrupted by the exploding bombs. Sort of like how Young Link is, or sorry, Toon Link back in Smash 4 and Normal Link back in Smash 4 as well. So that's definitely a buff for Young Link. Alongside the fact that his arrows will now light up in flames once it's fully charged. Now, back in Smash Bros. Melee, it didn't really it flashed a little bit, sort of like Normal Link's fully charged arrow, but this time around it's just a ton of more detail on the character. And again, that's another thing about a lot of the characters, just a ton of additional detail on them. But yeah, really nice that his fire arrows have that added touch. Again, not too much to say about Young Link. I guess also his taunt as well doesn't go on for as long, which is really unfortunate. And I say that it's unfortunate only because in this game you can now cancel out of your taunts. So yeah, the whole taunt to Falcon Punch combo can be made a reality in Smash Ultimate. But again, Young Link used to have the longest taunt by far back in Melee, so it would have been nice having that long taunt again, and of course being able to cancel out of it at any moment meant that it had much less of a risk. But again, you know, we get to see some Lon Lon milk at the end of the day, so yeah, not too disappointed, I guess. But that's all of really what I can talk about with young Link. There isn't too much on him. As I said, no demo gameplay of him, so that's all I can really go off of. But of course, I'll be the first to cover that young Link information once it's released. So for the next blog post, also being released on the 5th, the assist trophy Crystal was revealed, and Crystal is the well, I was actually about to say protagonist. Wow, how wrong I would have been. But, sorry, let me correct that. So, the assist trophy Crystal, aka the damsel in distress in Star Fox Adventures, was revealed, and this notes, with a few extra pictures, and it notes that she will use an ice blast attack against opponents, alongside attacking with her staff. Now, not really too much to say. She does what she says on the tin, and she's just like Fox back in Star Fox Adventures, where he could use different powers in his staff. It's a bit disappointing that she couldn't also use like earthquakes and stuff like that back in Star Fox Adventures, and fire blasts and so on, but again, she's what she is. I guess if I had to make any other comment, I'd probably say I would have preferred to see her as a playable character over Wolf. I mean, definitely a more interesting moveset potential, and with Wolf, I mean, I just can't be bothered to have this other clone again. Man, I'm just kidding. Wolf fans, please don't kill me. But that's all I really have for Crystal. I'll try and get some gameplay up there for you guys to see, but exactly as described. And to end off the week, the final blog post on the 6th of July being Pokemon Trainer's short trailer. Now, alongside Link, I'd say that Pokemon Trainer's undergone by far the most changes from his previous iteration. Of course, Link having that Breath of the Wild design, but with Pokemon Trainer he's had quite a few changes. Now, some of the more obvious ones being the fact that his alternate costume now includes a female Pokemon Trainer design from Fire Red and Leaf Green. Now, it doesn't really impact the gameplay, but it's a nice little detail, seeing as how the customization options have greatly increased from the classic games. Now, apart from just visual changes, there are also some massive changes, and I'd probably say the biggest one being the fact that the Pokemon Trainer now no longer has a stamina system. Now, in case you aren't aware, back in Brawl, the Pokemon Trainer would have a stamina system where if you used one Pokemon for way too long, they'd end up getting tired, and of course their attacks would be a lot less damaging. I believe they'd go a bit slower as well. I believe they also had less knockback, but in addition to those, it was just like an overall weaker Pokemon, so you'd have to keep on changing between the Pokemon. And again, the changing animation did take quite a while, so you could end up being punished for making a change, you know, something that you have to do, you'd end up getting punished for that. However, worry no more, fans. So if you have a favourite Pokemon out of the three, you can just stick with them for the entire match, because now the stamina system has been completely taken out, and of course you can just stick with your favourite Pokemon, which in my case, I just love playing as Ivysaur. I didn't really play much as Squirtle and Charizard. I have to admit, I don't mind the odd Flare Blitz, but yeah, mostly Ivysaur that I played as back in Brawl. However, if you are still interested in switching between the different Pokemon during the battle, you will be happy to know that the changing animation or switching Pokemon animation is much quicker now. Very little recovery or very little lag in between the moves, so you can throw this out and potentially use it as a dodge while still having a decent amount of recovery on it. So again, you'll be able to attack and shield much quicker out, you know, no more punishes. And of course, in the air as well, you can now change Pokemon in the air, and that's also quite quick. So again, you can use a Pokemon, like say if you don't like Squirtle's Waterfall to recover, then you can switch out mid-Pokemon, mid-battle in the air, and of course maybe switch to Ivysaur and use the Vine Whip to grab onto the edge. So again, opens up a ton of new possibilities. Yeah, I really had to think about that one. But yeah, it opens up a ton of different possibilities, and just overall a greater experience for Pokemon Trainer players. Now, moving on to the Pokemon themselves, there have been quite a few changes. Again, like I previously mentioned, it seems as though Pokemon Trainer has had the most changes from any other character in their previous iterations, of course, because it's 3 characters in one. But moving on to Squirtle. Now, Squirtle, I can't quite run through every single change because they were playable in the demo, so quite a lot of people found different changes, but this time around there were so many, and I had to just consult my best friend, aka Super Smash Bros. Wiki, so thank you, Smash Wiki, and I'll just go through some of the changes. I mean, if I stated every single change, I'd probably be here all day, but anyway, without further ado, let's go through some of the changes. So, first up, Squirtle's running speed is much faster than the previous Smash sorry, not Wii U, but much quicker than in Smash Brawl. So I had to think for a second. I couldn't remember if Squirtle was actually in there. But as I was saying, Squirtle is much quicker now, and it also has a new animation with him like running on a stream of water, which is a cool little feature. Again, it didn't need to really need to be there, but it is still nice nonetheless. Now, Squirtle's down tilt also has a bit further reach, and I believe this is a new animation as well, so that's something cool. Up smash activates quicker and it has a much higher reach as well, and is slightly stronger, so again you'll be KOing those opponents at a much lower percentage. And again, Squirtle's seen as like the weakest of the 3 Pokemon, so again, it gives Squirtle a lot more advantage, especially how it's quick and it has such a small hurt box as well, so added power is never a bad thing. Water Gun charges much quicker and it covers a greater distance, sort of like Mario's Flood. Squirtle's Side B Withdraw is much quicker and has a better priority, and of course, as I previously mentioned, the whole Pokemon change is much quicker and it allows for some brief invincibility as well. It can't be abused as much as in Brawl, but the invincibility is nice as a little dodge. Now, on a negative with Squirtle's Side B Withdraw, and I believe this is like a universal mechanic change. I've seen a lot of characters like Fox's Side B stops at opponents and you can't like run past opponents and pivot grab. Some people have claimed this is a glitch, but let's just wait and see what happens in the final build. But with Squirtle's Side B Withdraw, he won't keep on spinning like back in Brawl. He'll instead stop right in front of the opponent. So unfortunately, this makes the withdraw a bit less safe on block, as the opponent will be able to punish Squirtle while he comes out of his shell. Moving on to Ivysaur, and my personal favourite from Brawl. Ivysaur's forward tilt and down smash has much better range, and I also believe the forward tilt does a bit more damage. Ivysaur's neutral also has a slightly different animation and it hits multiple times, so that'll be great for breaking certain characters like Ryu's down B, where he goes into the charge's focus attack, and of course it only tanks 1 hit, so yeah, this would be really useful against characters like that. Alongside the fact that it has a bit more range as well, so buffs all around here. So Ivysaur's down aerial has it says that instead of having the sweet spot right at the tip, now it says that it's entirely a spike. So again, you won't have to be as specific when using that move. So Spike City, guys. Ivysaur's standing grab has less landing lag, less ending lag. Sorry, not ending lag. I'm looking at those aerials, but the standing grab has less ending lag. Bullet Seed has a finishing blow, so back in Brawl when you used to hold down B, the opponent would just like drop out with no real finisher, and this time around it will hit with the final hit, sort of like with the multi-jabs getting their finishers. Vine Whip can be angled up and diagonally, and of course, like I previously mentioned, the whole Pokemon change is much quicker as well. So again, Ivysaur's overall received a lot more buffs than nerfs. I guess, in a way, spamming the whole down B change will grant you less invincibility frames. Yeah, no fire here. But, yeah, grant you fewer invincibility frames, so it's not as abusable as I previously mentioned. But still a viable option by the looks of it. And finally, ending things off with Charizard, and to be honest, I didn't play as Charizard too much, but with Charizard, with his buffs, we can see that its second mid-air jump gives it a bit more vertical distance, so it will definitely help his air game and recovery. His neutral air has a lot less landing lag, so again, this will be a much better move to use, I can imagine, for controlling space and just keeping the opponent away and so on. His back aerial has also increased in vertical range, so that was the tail swipe, which had the sweet spot at the flame. It was a really strong KOing move, and it looks like it will be even better this time around. Now, Flare Blitz, this one really surprised me because Charizard's Side B, aka Flare Blitz, is significantly stronger and deals more knockback and shield damage. Now, I have to admit, back in Smash Wii U, if you did miss that, if you hit a shield, or if you just missed your opponent, you'd have some significant recovery time. You'd be knocked down and the opponent could get a free follow-up on you. But it honestly just surprised me because this is an incredibly strong move to use, especially in laggy conditions online, for glory. But yeah, no, it's just great to see how powerful it is, I guess. So now I can go for a good side B flare blitz spamming session online. I'm just kidding, guys. Or am I? Anyways, flare blitz is a bit stronger. And also, while I'm on the topic of flare blitz, it is worth noting that Charizard's down B, aka the Rock Smash, won't be making a return this time around, because back in Brawl it was Charizard's side B. However, when Charizard was separated on his own in Smash 4, he was given Flare Blitz and it was demoted to down B, but this time around it's just been removed completely. So a moment of silence for all of our Rock Smash fans. I apologize, guys. In other buffs, we also have Charizard's Fly Hitbox has been increased in size, so that will link much better when you're using it to attack opponents. I guess it's also noted that it has a lot less knockback, so you won't be KOing any opponents at an early percentage, but you have to chip down the opponent a bit more before you want to really get them into that KO range with Fly. And I guess with some negatives to Charizard, as I mentioned before, his Rock Smash is gone. However, his forward aerial, it says here that his forward aerial, due to its decreased short hop duration, for forward aerial is no longer, or it can no longer be auto-cancelled out of a short hop, which is again unfortunate. It removes an aerial option for Charizard, but again with his neutral air buffs, I'm sure you could use that as a replacement. Again, I'm not a Pokemon trainer main, but it's just my analysis so far. But anyway, those are all the characters or all of the blog posts for this week. So again, thanks a ton for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this, please leave a comment, like, and of course subscribe if you haven't already. And again, I just want to reiterate, I know this is quite an old blog, but this information, I nearly finished my video, and of course I had a problem with the USB and the hard drive was wiped, so I had to redo this one. But again, I am currently working on the next blog post update for the next week, and just let me know, guys, do you enjoy this type of thing? I don't mind doing more of these blog posts. I mean, the Smash hype is just uncontrollable at the moment. But anyway, leave all your comments in the comment section below, and of course, thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.